And welcome back to the Cabbage Patch. I'm Dad.
I'm Tommy. And I'm Gus.
All right. What do we do today, boys?
We played Hotshots.
Hotshots, which you can see that down there. It is wildfire season out west. Hotshots is a game about fighting fires out in the wilderness. So it seemed appropriate. It's similar to what game that we really like that it's similar to?
Flashpoint.
Flashpoint's about fighting fires inside houses and buildings. This is about fighting fires out in the wilderness. You play on a hex map, right? You've got 4 firefighter characters that you're controlling. They move during their turn. Each player gets to control one. I ended up controlling 2 because we wanted to make sure we had all the stuff we needed. They move on their turn. They fight fires on their turn, and then they draw these fire cards on their turn, and that constitutes a full turn. And the goal of the game is what?
To put out all the fire.
Right, so the game starts off with a bunch of fires already lit, and your firefighters need to go to them on the board and try to put them out, right? How do you lose the game?
If 8 tiles get burned.
So the tiles have 2 sides. They've got their scorched side and their regular side. If 8 tiles get scorched, you lose. Or
if your home base
tile gets scorched,
you can recognize it by its blue outline and flag.
Right? And each of these tiles have a couple of different characteristics. They have maybe a special characteristic up here at the top of the tile. This one has a 3 fire at the top, and I'll explain that in a second. It can take up to 3 fires on it before it's scorched. And then these symbols down here are the dice rolls that you need to fight. We're going to get that right in the frame. Fight the fire. So this has got 4 hoses, an axe, and a chainsaw. And each tile has different things that you need to fight. So how do you fight the fires, Gus? Can you explain that? So on your turn you move.
Dice.
On your turn you move your firefighter 2 spaces. So you end up in a space. Let's say your firefighters are here. You end up in a space right here with these 3 fires. What do you need to do to fight that fire?
You need to roll dice.
You need to roll the dice. Right? So you roll the dice. And you take the dice out and you line them up here and you see what you got. So you got a rake. You got an axe.
Oh,
what was that?
It was an axe.
It was another axe. Another axe. Another axe.
That's a lot of axes.
It's a lot of axes and a shovel. So you got a rake and a shovel. This particular hex needs, I don't know if you can see that, it needs 2 rakes, a shovel, a hose, and 2 firefighters.
So I'm going to keep these and we roll these.
The way it goes is so long as on your roll you get something that matches one of those things on the bottom, you can keep rolling. So Gus is rolling again to try to get more things to match. You got a firefighter which matches, you got another firefighter which matches, you got another firefighter, and you got another shovel. So he got 4 dice that match the symbols of the 6 that are there.
So he could take off 1 of the 3 5.
And he matches that to his reference card. If he gets 3 matches, what do you get?
You get a fire break.
A fire break. And a fire break helps prevent... It's these little cardboard tokens here that you place on the edge of a token, and that helps prevent the spread of the fire, and we'll get to that in a second. What do you do if you get 4 like you did?
You get 1, you remove 1 flame.
You take 1 flame token from the hex that you're on, and you throw it back into the supply. What happens if you get 5?
You remove 2 flames.
You move 2 flames.
You get a token or a fire break.
And then you can draw, and there's a supply of these special tokens over here that are a number of different things. This one is a parachute symbol, which is a token that you can use to move to any place on the map. Some of them are wild cards, which means that if you didn't get a thing you needed, you could use this token to be any of the dice that you needed. What happens if you get all 6?
You can remove 3 flames.
3 flames and
a token
and a fire break. Right? So matching all 6 is really cool. and it lets you put out a lot of fire. So after you fight the fire, then you draw these fire cards. And the fire cards have different bad things happening. Most of them are these cards that have these numbers on them, and the numbers match the hexes on the board, and they tell you where the fire spreads. So for instance, this says 5 and a 3, and it's got 2 different numbers on it. So you'd find a place that had 5, like Gus over here only put 1 fire out, but it's got a 5, and it's on fire, so we have to put 1 here. And then over here there's a 3, and you need to put another 1 there. So you have to put a fire. If it's not on fire, then you don't have to do anything. If there aren't any 5s or 3s on fires, no fire goes anywhere.
And if there aren't any fires, you win.
And if there aren't, yeah, exactly. If there aren't any fires, you win. And then the cards do different things. They change the direction of the wind, which is important.
Sometimes bad.
Which is important for when you draw cards that make the fire spread because of the wind, right? So there's a lot of bad things that can happen, and it depends on the wind direction, and the wind direction changes during the game, and different effects change during the game. Sometimes cards are cards that let you catch a new hex on fire. Put that in there. So that says catch this hex that it looks like a campsite, which is this one over here, and you put a fire there. So the cards do different things, and they're bad. So each firefighter moves up to 2 spaces unless he has a bonus token or a tile says he can't. Fights fire or leverages a vehicle, and that's a special tile that lets you do special things. So there's a vehicle.
It's very special.
It's a very special tile. It's right here, and in our map, it's in the middle. It's got these vehicle tokens, and there's a helicopter, an airplane, and a truck. The helicopter lets you move to any hex on the map and put out 3 fires. The plane lets you move across 3 hexes in a line. Doesn't have to be a straight line, and put out 1 fire in each hex. The truck, which we didn't use in our game, lets you drive from 1 hex to any other hex and put fire breaks all along it. So the vehicles are very powerful and let you address the fire in different ways. That's the basics, and I'd say watch our playthrough, but we didn't have any sound, so you probably won't be able to watch our playthrough because there won't be any sound.
I might be any place.
Yeah, I might put it up anyway, but I'll have to look at it. But there are lots of other videos on YouTube about how to play this game. I think it's a pretty cool game. It's fully cooperative, so we're all working together. If we work together in the right way, then we put the fire out. Each of these cards, each of these characters have a special ability, right? And that special ability is tied to a hex on the map. So long as the hex on the map is still in place, you can use that special ability. If the hex on the map goes away, you can no longer use the special ability. So the crew boss at the end of his turn can make a
dude move.
Yeah, can make any other firefighter move 1 space. The spotter can look at the top 2 flame fire cards and decide which one to do first. The swamper, which is what Tommy was, can change any dice rolls that are rakes
or shovels
into shovels, or vice versa. The character that Gus was a Sawyer, and he can change any dice rolls that are axes into chainsaws, or vice versa. So you're moving around the map, you're putting fires out, and trying to not lose 8 spaces or lose your camp, right? And that's it. The game's pretty straightforward. It took, 15 minutes for us to figure out how to play it. The gameplay we did, since we won't be able to show the gameplay, was about 39 minutes. It was a little less than that. So it was pretty short.
Estimated time of finishing, or ETF, was an hour.
Takes about an hour. It's supposed to take about an hour. We ended up at about 35 minutes. I had a lot of fun with it. What was your favorite part of it, Thomas?
My favorite part was when you're lucky and your rolls turn out very, very good.
Right. Did you like pressing your luck? Rolling that next set of dice just to see what would happen?
I didn't really press my luck. if I didn't have any like help from the other dude,
Yeah.
which by the way, that can happen.
That is a good point, right? So if you're in a space with another firefighter, you basically get a free roll. So I guess that's the thing we didn't explain. So if you roll those and you decide to roll again,
But if you
these last
don't
two,
get,
and it doesn't have a symbol that you need, you lose. And you don't get any of the benefits, and another fire shows up there.
well, if you don't get any of the symbols shown
Exactly.
that aren't already filled up.
That aren't already filled up, right? So if you press your luck too much and you try to roll that one more time, and you needed two hoses, a shovel, an axe, and two firefighters, and you had an axe and a firefighter, and you rolled again, and you got a bunch of chainsaws,
Vroom vroom.
like I did here, you wouldn't be able to put that fire out, and another fire would appear, and that would be bad, right? So you roll until you think you're comfortable and done, and try to at least put one fire out. So that's a cool thing. But when you have another firefighter in the same hex as you,
If
you
you roll
can-
and don't get any symbols, you can roll one more time.
you can basically ignore that fail.
Yeah.
And that's kind of cool. So you get to re-roll again. There's also a hex on here called the lake, and if you're next to the lake, you get one of those free re-rolls as well.
Yeah.
So firefighters together are more powerful than they are by themselves, right? And that's kind of cool. So it's a pretty cool game. So you like the dice. What did you like, Gus?
Dice.
You just like the dice? Gus just likes the dice rolling the dice and seeing what he gets. I liked a couple of things. I like the tokens for the fire. They're really cool. I think next time we play Flashpoint, maybe we'll use these. But I liked the fact that the fire could spread, kind of not randomly, right? Because it's based on wind direction and things like that. And I thought that was interesting. So in Flashpoint, the fire shows up randomly somewhere in the house. Here, the fire is based on where the fire is actually burning, and that's kind of cool. I like the cooperative nature, and then the push your luck thing is a fun mechanic, right? So it's like I need just one more thing to get to 4 to put one fire out. Do I do it or not? And it's a calculation that you make. So I thought that was cool. Rules that you need to remember. These cards, when you turn them over and you get that 5 and the 3, they only apply if there's a 5 on fire or a 3 on fire. And you, as the players, get to pick which one gets the extra fire, which we did a couple of times. We were getting real close over here with 5s, and we didn't let it burn because we picked the other 5 that was on fire.
And if you're on a tile that explodes...
Oh, if you're on a tile that explodes, you lose one of these dice.
1 dice per dude.
1 dice per person that's on that tile, and then you have to end your turn back at the camp to get that dice back. So that's a thing. There is a cool token that lets you prevent that from happening, but we didn't have to use it. So that's it. So it's a pretty simple game, played pretty fast. I thought it was a lot of fun. It's fully cooperative. What did we miss? Anything else in the game? No? So you like rolling dice. I like the firefighting games. I think they're kind of cool. I think next time we might play Pandemic because it kind of plays like this. It's not a firefighting game, but it's sort of a go and solve a problem game in this particular space. So we may try that next, but that's pretty cool.
And
did you like it better than Flashpoint?
yes.
Or, yeah. Why do you think that was?
I think it's because it's calmer. Gus can't just bring the whole house down a notch because he was just too bored trying to get out through the door.
He was just So Gus couldn't accidentally kill us all by chopping one too many walls down. That's a reason. How about you? Did you like it better than Flashpoint? Why did you like it better than Flashpoint?
It was just better in general.
It's a little less complicated because there's no people to rescue, right?
Yeah.
So we're trying to put the fire out and rescue the people in Flashpoint. Here you're just trying to put the fire out.
You're trying to rescue the land.
By putting the fire out. That's cool. I like the fire movement mechanic. Rather than dice, you flip these cards over. There are different map configurations that's supposed to emulate different national parks, which is, I think, a cool thing that we might try next time. Otherwise, I thought it was a great game. So we talked about what we liked. We talked about the rules in general. We talked about rules you need to remember. The cards are pretty self-explanatory. The rule book's really clear. Each of your characters has special abilities. You get special tokens that do special things. I think that covers it all.
Also, this explodes, so also this tile explodes,
No, that's
so
true.
don't let it catch on fire.
This is a special tile that if it gets to its burn limit of 2 fires, it explodes and sets everything around it on fire.
And if this catches fire, it immediately gets
It
destroyed.
immediately gets destroyed because it's brush. You know what? Actually, we did miss one thing. There's one Tex, it's this one, that when it scorches, it's supposed to catch the thing on fire according to the wind. So it was supposed to catch something else on fire. So we didn't quite, I don't think we did that right. I think we just scorched it and didn't do the actual rule. So you got to pay attention to the things on the tiles because there are symbols on the tiles. Otherwise, pretty straightforward, pretty easy, pretty fun.
And just
Are we ready to... Yeah?
We're ready to get the outro going after just a bit of self-sponsorship.
Well, first we need to give it a score.
Sorry, after the score.
So if we're going to give it a score, what are you going to give it? You like Flashpoint a 3, so I'm going to guess this is a 3 from you. You can't give it a 4. How about you?
3.
You're going to give it a 3?
3, and
I'm going to give it a 3.
3.
This is I think this is easier and faster to play, which makes it sort of a fun sit down and play kind of game. So I'm going to give it a 3. So we're going to give it a 9. That's one of the rare 9s. 9 cabbages. Outstanding. And then I think we're ready for the outro. You were going to say something about self-promotion?
Go watch our Flashpoint episode.
Oh, go watch the Flashpoint episode. Absolutely. I'll link it in the description.
And also, if we ever actually make merch, which we probably won't, give that a...
Well, yeah, we don't have any merch, so that's not something anybody has to worry about. So 9 cabbages. Go watch our Flashpoint video because it's a similar game and also a lot of fun. I think we gave that an 8. I think Gus knocked it down by at least 1 point. I liked it, you liked it, but Gus was a 2, I think. So I think we gave Flashpoint an 8. We gave this one a 9. It's an outstanding game. It's a lot of fun. I'm glad I was able to find it. Finding it on eBay is going to cost a little bit unless you're really lucky like I was. I think I paid $30 for it, which is a lot cheaper than the other versions were. But great game, and I'm looking forward to play it again with our friends the next time we have people over. All right, are we ready for the outro?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Subscribe, like, hit that bell, Tommy.
Leave a comment if you wish.
Eat plenty of cabbages. Not us, though, because we'll start wildfires.
You'll start wildfires if
Yes.
you're eating?
That doesn't make any sense. So
That
let's
doesn't
go
make any
with it.
sense. Okay, let's go with it. It sounds great. All right, well, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much. Have fun.
Okay,
Goodbye.